5-man rotation at defensive end last year. You talked about how you felt like you had 5 starters at DN. Is it the same deal this year? Do you feel like you have 5 starters? Just kind of break down what you're seeing at defensive end.
Well, we lost Tyler Friday right now, and that's making it tough. So I thought we had 4 ends returning: Tyreek, and Zach, and then Javante Baptiste. Those are the 4 guys that really count on being the guys to lead it. And then you got to grab a couple young guys to develop to be a part of that 5th unit. So we're not there yet. We're still in the development stage of that.
How close are Jack and JT to perhaps being in the rotation? Are they pretty far off?
It's just still a learning process. It really is. You get to go play college football, be ready to play in the first game and big time game. There's some growing pains they have to go through. They're working at it. I'm really happy where they are right now in terms of where their work is. The great work have is a great student of the game. So it's time. It's going to take time.
Just one more from me. Defensive tackle. Can you break down what you're seeing at defensive tackle? First team, second team, third team.
But we're not quite there yet. We got some guys inside. Antoine Jackson, to get Haskell Garrett, and Dejuan Jones has really had a great camp. And then Jerron Cage is there. So you got 4 solid guys there. And I like the young guys. I like Talik. I like Mike Hall is starting to make a push. We got Noah Potter as a guy there. So we got some guys that we can hopefully plug in as we go forward.
Larry, you'd seen JT before a little bit, but seeing him on the practice field and work and stuff, what just stands out about him so far?
I think one thing about him, he came in town in great shape. And you don't come in and start and get where he's going unless you're in great shape. So he did a great job of doing that. He's got a really high football IQ, and so he really understands the football game. And he's a video guy. He's a study guy. And I think that's why he's starting to advance so fast, because he's got some things that you have to have. You want to be an elite player, but his work ethic is off the chart.
When you say high football IQ, explain to people what you're talking about there. He knows, he has a sense for what's happening in front of him.
Football IQ, understanding information, understanding what you're doing, what you see, and just kind of understanding the game. And I think that's where he has a huge advantage. His grandpa was a great coach, in high school coach, and I think that helped him. Because he would take him to the game to see the game, understand the game, and that he's got a great vision for that.
What's realistic, do you think, for him? He obviously came in very late. Can he make an impact, and if so, how quickly?
I hope he can. He certainly has the tools to do that. Right now is how fast he can learn our defense, moving forward, playing the scheme, and then playing at a fast pace. People don't understand that when you come from high school, it's not as fast as they think it is until you hit the college campus. And now getting them up to speed, he's certainly working at it.
Can you discuss how he and Jack complement each other, how they're maybe not quite the same player, and that might be a good thing?
It is a good thing. Jack is a quick, very explosive player. JT is just the opposite, explosive, quick, and powerful. He can play on top of the end and then the 6 technique and knock the line of scrimmage back. So he's very powerful. He's got great lower body strength. Jack is a finesse guy. He's going to find a way to beat you, and he's a highly competitive guy. So that's what I like about both of them.
Could those guys be in the Rushman package this year?
Not yet. We haven't decided what we're going to do yet. How we're going to handle that package. And we got some inside guys who can rush, but we haven't gotten there yet. Minnesota's not going to allow us to get in the Rushman package, so we got to stop the run first.
Yeah. When you have guys like that, though, is it hard not to dream about the possibilities of what you could do with Zach and Tyreek and Jack and JT all on the field together?
Oh, no doubt. It's a nice dream, but it's one day at a time. It's one day at a time. You got to get them to the bus. Got to stay healthy, and it's a process to get that done. So, as a matter of fact, Tyreek and Javante and Zach really have a great camp, really great camp. And those guys are my leaders now. They're setting the pace for those young guys, and that's what you want.
Larry, do you have any idea if you could get Tyler back at some point this year, and what does that loss mean?
I don't know. We don't know yet. It's a big loss. Really a big loss. He was having a great winter, great summer, and right where we wanted him to make a push. And it's just sad. And he's a great leader too. So we're going to wait and see what happens down the road.
See him still looks like he's coach out there for you.
Yes. So he's JT big brother. So we put him in charge of JT and make sure to get him coached up as we go. And that's been going really well.
You've had a lot of guys like Chase Young and Mabosa that come in here and have been really highly touted guys. Kind of how did Jack and JT compare coming in terms of how prepared they are for the college level?
I think they're well prepared. They're good athletes. And just like all those great players, I tell people all the time, it's a process. It just doesn't happen overnight. You have to go through things every day. Everything JT and Jack are doing and learning for the first time. And that's going to take time to figure out that process when we go to the different players. So I think that, you just got to hold tight and watch and see how they develop as we go forward.
Jack didn't play high school football last year. He decided not to do it. And yet, physically, he kind of came in here looking like he was ready. Can you just give your first impressions of him from when he first got here, physically kind of looking like he was ready to go, and he could have easily
ready.
not.
He got in here, he's probably like 225 with 230. He walked in the door. He's about 255 now, so he's put on almost 30 pounds, which is muscle mass since he's been here. So it's been a transition. He didn't play football, and so he wasn't as strong when he came in. But over summer, Coach Mick did his staff did a great job getting ready. I mean, he's 255 right now, look really good. But that's the work he's put into it.
Are there worries when that happens? it doesn't happen that often, but he didn't play football, and we're sitting here all talking about him like he's supposed to be an impact player this year. Were you a little skeptical at first when he came?
The expectations are very high because he's a local guy, but I think he still has to go on the field and play. He has not played football almost a year and a half now.
Right.
And spring football doesn't really count. It's just a fundamental thing. So we got to wait and see how he develops as we go forward. We got 15, 16 more days before the first game, so now we started pushing him to see what happens.
Anything else for Coach?
Yeah. What is it like going through a camp and trying to get a defensive line ready when you're playing Minnesota week 1, which has one of the Big Ten's leading returning rushers, and trying to get them kind of acclimated for a Big Ten team in week 1?
Well, I tell you what helped us right now, our offensive line, iron sharpen iron, and they're as big as Minnesota, so that's helping us right now. And then we got some elite running backs, so that helps us when we go against each other. So I think we're getting ready to prepare for them because our offensive line is so huge and very talented, and so it's going to get us ready for it. And that's a bonus for us to have that kind of height and weight that we can go against like Minnesota has.
As you watch video, you can't miss Dejuan Jones right now. I mean, just from your vantage point, what kind of strides has he made?
360. He's really turned himself to a really great football player. He's on his way. He's very attentive. He's very powerful, very strong. He's got in a great shape, and so Dejuan is having a great camp. He's hard to run around. He's just so long and big, but it helped us because we're going to face that first game.
That defensive tackle spot with Haskell and Teron, do you feel like you can get those guys on the field at the same time, or do you like them both better at that 3-tech spot?
We're training to have guys play both positions, and now instead of having 2 players, you're getting 4 players. So both guys can play nose, both guys can play 3-tech. So that gives us some more depth, and that's what we're trying to do. We'll train other guys like that because they're veteran players. They can probably handle the playbook, and so far they've done really good. And Teron the same way. Teron can play 3-tech and nose guard if we wanted to.
What are the different things they have to learn to be able to play nose guard when they've been 3-tech?
It's different. 3-tech gets more one-on-one in the pass rush. You probably get more double teams than a nose guard will. A nose guard gets some combo blocks. He's got to be more of an athletic guy to get off block. But it's different position.
It seemed like had such a great season last year, Larry. Did you see that coming with Haskell Garrett entering last year? What's he done to get even better entering this year?
The biggest thing, just staying healthy is the biggest thing to him. Just staying healthy going forward. He's in a good space right now, and he'll be a marked guy going into the season. Team's not going to know who he is, and we'll try to get more double teams as we go forward. But I'm really happy where he's at right now.
But he got some All-American accolades last year. Like I said, I'm sure you were high on him, but did that surprise how well he played last year?
I think he came back with some resilience. I think he came back and really went to work after what happened to him. I think he really refocused himself and really concentrated on being a real great football player. And that's the way he practiced, and that's the way he played. You know what I mean? So it's kind of neat to see him do that. I mean, he's really a smart player, but he gets it, understand how to play the game.
In the spring, the buzz was that Zach had stepped up his game. Have you seen that continue in preseason? I mean, just what's different about him from a year ago, from your vantage point?
As you know, the more you play, confident you become. He's more confident right now. He's playing much faster at the pace that we like him to play at. His leadership is off the charts right now. But he put the work in. He's 270. He probably played last year around 255. And so he's a bigger, stronger guy going into his junior year. So we kind of like where he's at right now.
Last fall, you guys had a lot of good things to say about Ty Hamilton. Has he kind of continued on his development, and could he be a part of that defensive tackle rotation?
Oh, no question about it. Ty's got a chance to be special for us. He's up to 290 right now, and that's what we wanted to play at the position. And he's one of the guys who's trained to play nose guard and 3-tech, because you never know when you go on the road what you're going to have. And so, but I'm really pleased where he's at right now.
One last recruiting question. JT, that's probably the most unique recruitment you've ever had, and now you've got to kind of press the reset button and focus on the 2022 class. Can you just kind of walk us through kind of having to press that reset button?
Yeah, it's been a year and a half recruiting JT. Every day, every hour, just staying focused, staying with the family. And now we have to get some 2022 guys in here. We got a group of guys that we really like. going forward. Like most kids, they're going to take their time, make the decisions. So we're not pressing, but we think we're in good shape with all those guys, and we'll see what happens.
Did that help you with your patience, having to wait on that?
Yeah, it's not fun now. Patience is good, but it's not fun waiting and for that last hour. Wait for that last phone call.
Larry,
when you got that
Larry,
call,
you mentioned
yeah, go ahead.
Haskell and Teron Vincent kind of going through free tech and playing those. Have they done that? Had Haskell done that at all?
Haskell's done a little bit of it. When he first came to sophomore, we had him at nose guard. But he's so smart; he can handle both positions very well, and so we're gonna play around with it. See what happens.
When you got that phone
you
call,
said he's smart enough to pick it up. Like, how does he show that? Like,
Oh no, just there's two different positions. There's two different techniques in every blitz that we do. So he has to know exactly what the nose guard does and the three technique does. And so we make our guys learn the whole playbook, not their position. So that helps us. So he's in the meeting room, not learning just what he does, but everybody in our defense has done. So that's kind of helped us.
Larry, how did you know that Javante could put on all this weight?
I'd say he worked hard at it though. It wasn't easy for him. He came here at 209 pounds, I think, and not probably less than that. But he was so driven, and now he's at 255 and playing really well. I mean, I can't say it again. Tariq and Zach and Devontae has had really great games. Really, their leadership's off the charts.
When did you see that really come in, the leadership part?
I saw the end of spring football. You saw him trying to step up. He spent more time in the video room studying the game, and that's a sign of a guy really understand what he's got to do to get to the next level. And so I kind of like where Devontae is right now. He's doing a good player for us.
when you got that phone call
From
JT, because I saw you anguish one time when you got a bad phone call, a long time ago and stuff from I think it was a nose guy that was pretty good out of Louisiana.
Yeah.
But what is it like for a coach to win that battle?
Yeah, it was interesting. I was actually out in the yard cutting grass, and I got a text and say, "Hey, coach, I'm gonna call you in about 20 minutes." And so then I stood up on the steps and waited like a little kid, like okay, to wait for this phone call. And he got on the phone. He's a coach. I got a minute. I said, "Yeah, what's up?" And to me, is that one line is, "Well, coach, we made our mind up and we decided what we're going to do." And I'm about ready to pass out because you don't know where this is going to go now. Right? I don't want bad news. And all of a sudden they say, "Hey, coach, I'm up in the parking lot." I think I screamed real so loud outside. Chris come running out the door and say, "You all right? You all right? You all right?" I said, "We got JT." So that was pretty exciting. And they were too. So it's good. Great family.
Yeah. You still got the shirt from when you guys picked him up at the airport?
Yeah, dude.
Is this a year that your experience comes in handy? Because it seems like you've got one or two guys in like every possible situation you can imagine. Fifth year, sixth year, seventh year, first year, early guys, and just everybody wants to different situations. And it's helping you be able to tap into your knowledge of what you've done in the past and help these guys.
Yeah, it helps. It really does. But I think the biggest question is that who's behind them is my push. Like I got to get the next guy ready. Maybe there's something that happens. So my push to get the young players ready as quick as possible because they never know when to be in the game. So it gives me flexibility, it gives me some chance to move the dots a little bit because they're so veteran, and that's been really fun. And they can set the bar for me in practice.
Okay, we got to